things that's changed my life. So we're about to jump right into it. But before we do that, we have some housekeeping. I want to make sure that everyone that has one of these, everyone has a cell phone?
Yes.
All right, let's make sure we turn it off, or plan on recording, then put it on vibrate. All right, we don't want any interruptions in the middle. So let's make sure we're able to do that. All right? And if you could actually, this is going to be fairly quick, straightforward, to the point. So we want to make sure no one's interrupting as far as getting up and moving around, especially during the video I'm going to show you. It's only about 3 hours long, so that's it. Okay, that's it, right? Okay, so no, it's very quick. But you know what? One of the things that we do, we here at the Matrix Group, we call ourselves the Matrix Group because Matrix stands for making a team realize its expectations. Okay, and you'll hear us talk a lot about legacy. You hear us talk a lot about what we're doing as a family, what we're creating, okay? So I would be remiss if I didn't mention within our family, we actually had someone recently pass away. Because when you think about being excited about people that are hitting certain positions, people are doing some amazing things, when I look at a gentleman like this, Dwan Harrison, that actually literally set his family up spiritually as well as financially, to leave a legacy in an amazing way. So I just want to make sure I mention that because that's why we're here. When we think about where we're going, when we're thinking about who's going to be talking about us and the lives that we're changing down the road. So, I mean, as we move forward in life and as we help others, I mean, that's the exciting part about this. It's exciting when you know that you're going to do something in life that's going to change lives. You know, it's one thing to make money, it's another thing to make money while you're making a difference. Okay? So we're going to dive right into a little bit of information. This video is going to share, I mean, literally when you talk about really the concrete within our organization, pay attention to three things. Pay attention to who's actually partnered up with us. Pay attention to the accountability within the organization. And also pay attention to how it is that you get paid. Okay? So let's go ahead and get the video started.
It's happening right now in millions of homes and businesses around the world. Someone is surfing the internet, cooking a meal, or turning on a light. Someone is sending a text message, watching TV, using a credit card, and someone is definitely making a phone call. Just imagine if you got paid because someone did any of those things. These essential services represent the largest and fastest growing industries in the world, exceeding $1.75 trillion annually. And now, you can be a part of it. How is this possible? Well, most service providers spend millions of dollars on traditional advertising to attract new customers and to try to keep the ones they already have. ACN instead works with people just like you to go direct to the customer, eliminating the high costs of advertising, and the result is more choices for consumers and a remarkable business opportunity for you. Through ACN, you can build a successful business of your very own by offering people an alternative on the services they are using anyway. ACN has attracted attention in very high places and among the world's most successful business leaders. One such leader is billionaire entrepreneur Donald J. Trump, who has built his career on recognizing and taking advantage of exceptional opportunities when he sees them. After personal invitations from Donald J. Trump himself, ACN was featured on 2 episodes of The Celebrity Apprentice, NBC's hit reality television show.
ACN has a reputation for success. Success that's really synonymous with the Trump name and other successful names, and you can be part of it.
Founded in 1993, ACN has grown to 24 countries on 4 continents, with offices throughout North America, Europe, Latin America, Asia, and the Pacific, creating a solid foundation that will stand the test of time. Our success has been profiled in Fortune magazine, USA Today, The Wall Street Journal, US Business Review, Direct Selling News, Success Magazine, and Success from Home magazine. Inc. magazine ranked ACN the 22nd fastest growing company in North America within our first 5 years in business. ACN was a pioneer in capitalizing on the deregulation of the telecommunications industry. And today, we are the largest direct seller of telecommunications, energy, and essential services in the world. ACN continues to grow by providing choices on the essential services millions of consumers and businesses already use every single day. Essential services such as phone services, wireless services, natural gas and electricity, home and business security and automation, television, internet service, computer support, and payment processing. Everyone uses at least one or more of these services. In fact, these are the services people simply won't live without. And with our Strive for 5 promotion, when you or your customers each refer 5 friends and family that sign up for the same ACN service, your service or your customer service can be free. So what does all of this mean for you? It means an opportunity for you to own your very own business with the total support of ACN behind you every step of the way. For starters, ACN has developed and will provide, host, and maintain your very own personalized storefront where you can direct people to go and shop for all their essential services. One key component to our winning business model is how you get paid. At ACN, you can earn residual income. Every time someone becomes a customer of these essential services through your personal storefront and pays for their monthly services, you get paid month after month, year after year, for as long as they remain on the ACN service. And every time you acquire a new customer or help an existing customer add a new service, or your customers refer other customers, you give yourself a raise. But that's just the beginning. Introduce others to ACN, show them how to get customers through their own personal storefronts, and as their customers use ACN services, not only does their monthly residual income grow, so does yours. There is no limit to the number of customers you can acquire, and no limit to the number of people you can introduce to ACN. At ACN, if it's on, you get paid. It's really that simple.
You have a great opportunity before you at ACN without any of the risks most entrepreneurs have to take. I've experienced the opportunity that exists when you're able to jump ahead of the curve, and ACN gives you that opportunity. Believe me, it's ultimately a dream come true.
At ACN, our business is providing individuals like yourself with a lucrative business opportunity, offering services that people use every day. But our mission has always been to make a difference, not only in your life, but also in the lives around us. And for us, that starts with children. Today, over 17 million children in North America do not know where their next meal is coming from, and that is just not acceptable. So we're doing our part to help end childhood hunger right here at home. With ACN Project Feeding Kids, when someone becomes an ACN customer and pays their select bills each month, a child gets fed. It doesn't get any simpler or more powerful than that.
I've always believed in being charitable and giving back. That's why I love ACN. When you become an ACN customer, you pay your bill each month and a child gets fed. Now that's what I call making a difference.
It's your life. How will you choose to spend it? Earning money on your terms, providing services people are already using, and feeding children in need in the process. That's what ACN is all about, and you can be a part of it.
I found there are 2 types of people: those who take action and those who let opportunity pass them by. Which one are you?
Awesome, awesome. All right, so we're gonna do the next part of dark. Right? We're gonna do this next part of dark. I was just seeing if you guys would laugh, okay? See, I know this is Los Angeles, there are a lot of cool people in LA, right? Right? Okay. That's right. Exactly. So check this out. The next person I have the privilege to bring up to the front of the room, I'm actually nervous right now introducing him. That's how much of a big deal he is, right? So this man is literally someone that advises presidents, okay? See, here's the thing I understand about people, right? Who in here, raise your hand if you respect Oprah Winfrey for who she is and what she's done. Okay? Awesome. So is it fair enough to say that we only know who Oprah is because she's on TV? Is that fair enough?
Yeah.
Okay. So then is it fair enough to say there's people with her type of influence and even wealth, but we just don't know who they are because they're not on TV? Is that fair enough?
Absolutely.
Exactly. So this man that's about to come to the front of the room as one of the foremost doctors, a kidney doctor, in what he does. See, think about this. Why is it that a doctor that has the ability to change lives from a physical standpoint wants to come and say, how can I change some more lives from a financial and mental standpoint? And literally says, okay, well, if it can add to my bank account, that's even better. See, here's the thing. It's something like this. Literally, you're talking about someone that invested $135 million in business that he's done. So think about this. I've never met someone that's made $1 million that didn't want to make $2.
Right.
So whether you're here today and you're learning how to just make your first million, or you've already been there and you're learning how to make number 2 and number 3, this is an amazing person that you can hear from. So he's a phenomenal doctor, a phenomenal husband, and a phenomenal friend. So please stand to your feet. Welcome to the front of the room, Dr. Randall Madison.
Thank you so much. The first thing I would like to say is I feel extremely blessed. I called a pastor friend of mine very early one Sunday morning and I said, I hope I didn't wake you up. He said, no, you didn't wake me up. God woke me up. Look, I'd like to give it back to Mr. Elijah Hall, who introduced me. He added a few commas and digits to the money I spent, but that's okay. And he's an amazing father, amazing leader and gentleman, and I have the utmost respect. So, there is a regimen that we're taught when we give this talk, and I've talked in front of the WHO, National Medical Association, thousands of people. And I was never scared. Yes, well. I had to go to a bunch of people and say, y'all crazy. Because this has the utmost importance. Now, being a physician, I understand life and death and the importance of taking care of patients. But usually it's you and that patient, and your decisions affect you and that patient, especially in a litigious society. Rod, I want you to understand it. So we get sued, right? I had this lady who was about 98 years old. She was in Robert Kennedy Hospital when it existed. She had diabetes, heart failure, kidney failure, acute rheumatologitis. And I kept this lady alive for 5 years. And she died. The family tried to sue me because this lady died at age 102. So, everybody sees the paycheck out.
Okay.
But the reason this is a bit unnerving is because what happens here tonight can affect not just 1 or 2 people, but can affect generations.
Absolutely.
So therefore, I take it very seriously that what I say has potential positive impact. So the first thing you're supposed to say is, why are you here? Why am I here? Yeah, I'm a doctor. I've been around, had a few titles, but my auntie, who was a preacher, used to always ask me, so how much ground do you need? Are they going to bury you any deeper? Because you got an MD, a PhD, and so don't get it twisted. So here's what it's about. Yeah, I'm a physician. I've been very fortunate And I wasn't always the brightest kid in school. I've been the smartest, but I wasn't the brightest. Was told that I could only be a carpenter, I couldn't take the merit scholarship test. In fact, when I was a freshman in college, I couldn't talk because I had a very bad stuttering problem. Some of you know what that is. And then this young, brash teacher called me a name, called me an ignorant N-word. And from that point, I started talking. So I was originally in law school. And I went there about 3 weeks. I said no. And it just so happened I also got accepted to medical school only if I signed a contract that I had to do 2 doctorates at once. So I went, like I said, very blessed.
Very smart.
When I moved to California, I came to run a hospital as medical director. And I came to run a research foundation on Black-related diseases. But after the first month when they didn't pay me, I had to go start practicing medicine. And at that time, I was the only Black nephrologist in the city of Los Angeles in private practice. So we grew up very big, made a lot of money. And then one day, and I'm careful about how I say this, but I woke up one day and the voice said in my ear, I didn't tell you to do medicine for money. Don't you see? I gave you those degrees to serve the people. So I'm going to teach you. I'm going to scourge you. And certain things happened, and the $5 or $6 million that I was making just went away. So I started all over again. And in that process, I made a deal. Many of you have heard of a multi-billion-dollar company called Nvidia.
Yes.
So I was one of the people who wrote their very first business plan when they only had 15,000 centers. Now they got 3,000. Do I want a piece of that? No. Lost another one. Had a major lawsuit with them about 3 years ago. Lost about $10 million. Had dialysis centers that covered the South Pacific, Africa, a number of places, lost a lot of money. So I don't know how smart I am, but if you get smart from doing things wrong, I'm pretty smart. So after all of that money loss, 2.5 years ago, I was blessed again, and I found somebody either smart enough or stupid enough to give me $105 million. And I bought another set of dialysis centers in Puerto Rico. And I said, aha, God told me don't use this for money, but I ain't smart. So I started using it for money. But I was scared all the time. And then I was in Honolulu. And I was going through the exhibits, and my daughter says I have to be really clean about how I say this. I was interested in some dermatology products for my patients that have diabetes. And I met this doctor who says, let me show you how to lower your expenses. Make a long story short, I saw an opportunity that I want to talk to you about very briefly. And that opportunity was very important because even though, yes, I spent $105 million, we'll probably make much more than that in the next couple of years of doing that. At the bottom of my contract as chairman of the board CEO, it says you serve at the pleasure of the board. That means at any moment, I'm gone. And I don't know that my family and my wife could negotiate the best deal to get my part that several $100 million that we'll sell that from. And I tell people I do have a wife. I really do. I have 5 children. My daughter was here in the front row. And no, she is not 16. I got 3 dogs and a chinchilla. But in the past 3 months, I've lost 2 of my best friends who are just slightly older than me, a whole lot of colleagues who didn't get to retire. And I said, how am I going to secure with residual income my family?
Right.
That's important. Now, I don't want to die, but the worst thing that happen if you die or get disabled and you're worried about your babies and your wife and your dog and your children. So that is so important. So is there anybody here who's not concerned about their family? We're all concerned.
Absolutely.
Okay. So on that basis, Dr. Glenn told me about a company called All Communications Network. Now, so it happened, I was in that company back in the 90s for about a week and a half. Just a little bit less time than I spent in law school. But when I went back to look at it after she showed it to me, I came to a meeting, and I remember a very tall, queenly lady stood up and gave an introduction. And then a gentleman started talking, and by the time he got to the second slide, in my mind I said, oh, I want this. This will take care of me. So the company is called All Communications Network. We're an international services provider. The company is approaching $1 billion in revenue. Now, I don't know much about $1 billion. Well, I really do. I know that if you were to count 1, 2, 3, 4, it'd be about 50 plus years before you get to $1 billion. That's a lot of money, right?
Yes, sir.
You know, and this guy named Donald Trump got about 10 of them. So that works. So we're in 24 countries. Now, being in dialysis, I've owned dialysis units, I've owned 5, I've owned 10, but now I own 15. There's a difference in the amount of money you generate when you own 15 versus 5 or 10. It's called compounding. Makes a whole lot more sense to do it that way. We have millions of customers. We're the world's largest customer of telecommunications and energy. Now, somebody that spoke one night told me something that freaked me out, made me funny. Said that they see people standing at a bus stop with $800 phone. That don't make no sense. So everybody uses what we call essential service. Let's go to the next one. Well, so what is our documentation? You know, when you go to look me up and find out if I'm a good doctor. No, there's a way you can look me up and find something legitimate. The peers who have either seen my work, documented my work, or you can go into Black Dispatch and see what the 1 or 2 people out of the 100,000 I treated who they think I'm a jury. Maybe my first life takes up. But you want to go to the literature that is in your field. So if you want to look at this opportunity, you go to financial literature, go to the Wall Street Journal, go to Success Magazine, even USA Today. But the internet itself, I looked on there one time and there were like 750 entries that said he was frightening. You know, so not much you can look at the internet that really speaks. Let's go to the next slide. So a lot of people, I know there's some bankers in here, and you know, I don't know if I like that. They own everything I have. They say you own your house. But how many actually have the deed free and clear to their palace that they live in? Not a lot. I see a couple of guys. You know, I can raise your hand. I'm embarrassed. I think but the rest of us are owned by the bank. We used to call it the company store, right? Or Tennessee, or way back then. So this is the national headquarters, and it is on 17 acres. That's pretty cool, and it's paid for. There is no more. Let's go to the next one. Now, not only that, but they own these same, I'm not gonna call them monstrosities, but I can do a lot of these buildings, you know, we have a party. Headquarters in the Pacific, in Europe, in Asia, Mexico, etc. And that tells me that this is a pretty solid company. You know, for those of you in finance, you know, there's something called quick ratio, the other ratios of liquidity, which tell you whether or not you have cash if a disaster happens tomorrow. These people have the quick ratios, the longer lending ratios, am I right, Ron? And these things that means financial stability, they have it. Let's go to the next slide. So, what do we know about these companies? These are a number of Fortune 500 companies, including Verizon. Anybody heard of Verizon?
Yes.
There's one called Frontier. There's CenturyLink, Dish, Zoom Energy. These are companies that our company has gone out to make deals with. So envision that we are something like a Costco. Or I went to Puerto Rico a couple of weeks ago and I bought a ticket on Travelocity. But I bought the ticket for American Airlines. I flew American Airlines. I didn't fly Travelocity. But Travelocity got me a cheap ticket. You know, and that's better, but I still got the same miles. You know what I'm saying? So we are able to broker services at a cheaper price than normal. At the very least, we can keep the price the same. In most cases, we can lower that price and we can keep the same vendor. That's pretty good, right?
Yes.
So the other question, people say, well, how can you do that? Well, if you make a deal with companies like this, who would think that they would vet you before they do a deal with you? There's a lot of risk if you do a deal with somebody who's flaky. Right? So they have vetted this company. And therefore they have said it is worth the risk to put our name on this deal and on this project. And I would dare say, you know, my mother told me once, don't ever fool with a woman who got less to lose than you do. So if they are, but it means, you know, their brand is at risk if they fool with somebody who's not up to it, right? Right. So that is a way to validate the business that we are talking about here. So all of these services are essential services. Most of us will pay our phone bill before we do anything. You know, people like me, I'm cold-blooded. I need heat in my house. Even though I was born in Ohio, I won't go back to a house with a friend car. So I need my heat. You know, my wife looks at this show called Scandal, Kerry Washington and Dr. Glenn. I mean, Kerry Washington. So we need those things. And I recall seeing a bill for like $415 to watch Kerry Washington. That's $3. So we can lower these prices a lot for most people. Let's go to the next slide. So I go to a church. It's in the hood. Don't tell them that church if you're sophisticated. We have church. That's right. Okay. But we have a lot of elderly people. And I would love to be able to have one of these elderly ladies have a free phone. And I can do that if I have 5 phones in my family. I can see that somebody gets a free phone. Isn't that cool?
Yes.
That's cool. Let's go to the next slide. Now, I told you about needing money and God saying you can't do everything just for money.
Right.
I needed a safe harbor. You lawyers know what safe harbor is. I needed to be doing something while I'm trying to make some money, doing something for somebody else. Well, every time we have a customer and they pay a bill or we pay our bill, we need a Hungry Child in America. The bill last year was feed 1 million kids before January 1st of 2015. They did something like 1.4 million.
Yeah.
Okay? That is so important. I would like this particular organization to get to the point where we can talk to the founders of this company and say, this is cool what y'all are doing, but we want to be a little bit more specific about where some of these kids are fed. Like certain places right here. And if we get big enough, if we have enough influence, we can send it. All right? So we're working towards that. So we're looking for you to join us in that effort so we can specify an even better work that's already being done. So the feeding of kids. Now, I don't know a lot about business, but in a little bit of business I have taken, they say that you want to spend between 10 and 12% of your gross revenue on media and marketing. You go to the Super Bowl, you won't see them at the Super Bowl, but those commercials they have, and I know Mr. Stratton did a lot of those things, and some of those were $3 or $4 million a minute. Yes, easy. Now, you know, funny in some of those things that you're supposed to respond to that. But the point is, we don't advertise. We cut out the media. So that amount of money that we would normally spend on media goes to people like us. Now, I don't know if many of you know Miss Queen, but she's a supermodel. Europe, Africa, and here. And that's worth an awful lot. And somebody told me they saw you shopping at a store and walk out with shoes that were red on the bottom. and I know that some of these ladies wear these, Chinese shoes called Jimmy Choo or something like that. Now, how many of you, every time you get those shoes, go and tell your best friend, oh, look, I got a deal on some of these shoes. You know, they discounted these shoes down to $1,500. But you don't get paid, right? Well, here, if you enjoy what you did and what you were able to make and what kids you were able to help and how you were able to satisfy the needs of your family and your children and your dogs and children, you get paid for that. You get paid for doing charity. You get paid for feeding kids. That's good.
Absolutely.
So this business is a genuine business that allows you to do that. So at this point, I'm supposed to introduce somebody. But I have to make sure that I do it in a professional manner and not necessarily expose the emotion that I have in introducing this next person. But when you meet somebody who can change your life and save your family by their advice and by their integrity, that's important, isn't it?
Absolutely.
So the person I want to introduce you to, not only is she a physician, board certified in dermatology. Now, the real deal is she told me she'd make me look like Denzel. So we gotta figure this out. I don't know how well she's doing, but I would give her a while longer to get that part together. But she is a wonderful mother. Yes. She's a single mother. And when you've been around the block as many times as I have, it's very important when you first do a business, it's not the facts of the business, but it's the integrity of the person who tells them about it. So I'd like to introduce somebody who's very important to me. And she also, I'll say Kerry Washington looks like her on Scandal. I'd like to introduce Dr. Marcia Glenn.
we had you behind the door so long, we were all jousting to see who would come up after Dr. Maxey to acknowledge him. So I won that race. So I am so proud of Dr. Maxey. He is so exceptional as a business partner, as a father, as a community leader, and we appreciate you.
Yeah.
As Dr. Maxey mentioned, I am a mother. I'm a mother of two exceptional kids, at least most of the time. I know the parents understand that, and I am so blessed to be the founder or owner of a unique med spa, which combines dermatology with spa. And I have treated over 20,000 patients. Many of them know on the big screen, small screen, and in the sports arena. My son really enjoys the sports arena. He gets to go there often. But what those celebrities haven't done for me is guarantee financial security. And that's what really brought me to this room, an opportunity like Dr. Maxey mentioned, to have that residual income. Because I, like you, was severely impacted by the downturn of the economy in 2009. And so that vulnerability, even as a doctor, left me really open to embrace something that forever would provide that financial security. So that's really why you as guests were right here tonight, hopefully to see what I saw a year ago and recognize that great value that I've embraced and gotten from this opportunity. So let's proceed. When I was a little girl, my dad said I liked money, and I do. And I truly do, because I like what it can do for me, obviously, what it can do for my children, what it can do for my community, and what it can do for us collectively. So let's talk about the money that we make in this opportunity. The first of 3 ways that we make money is called personal residual income. And that's by the services that we accrue as individuals. And you know what? It's not really hard. You're looking at a woman who has over 10 services in our home and business. Let's talk about them. I have 2 gas bills. I have 2 credit card swipers. I have 3 computer support systems because I'm not really great at computers. I have 3 telephones, my land phone, my cell phone, and my 16-year-old cell phone. And I have a security system as well. So that's 11 services. In this model, next slide, we're getting 10% of all of our services. This is so conservative because it looks at 60 services, each independent business owner acquiring 60 services over a lifetime at $40 per month. I know most of my bills aren't $40 a month, but you know, let's follow our way through this. So that's $2,400 in billing revenue at 10%. That's $240 per month. Well, you know what? That's not earth-shaking, but I'll keep that $240 a month. You know, it helps me as a single mom. But when I talk about my bills, some of them are $100, others of them are $400. So let's tack a 0 onto this. And next slide. If you tack a 0 onto this, we're getting $2,800 annual revenue. All right, so that's pretty good. Well, I don't know if all of us will do this business just for the personal residual income, but I know most of us will do this business for the opportunity to have overriding residual income. What does that mean? Most of us are paid on linear income. That means even as doctors, when we go to work, we get paid, but when we don't go to work, guess what? We don't get paid. So with this business, we get to utilize a wealth principle called leverage. We get to build a team, and it's pretty easy to build a team. When I build my team, I pick Dr. Maxey, and then I picked another extraordinary couple, Sandra Rod over there. Aren't I a good picker? Right? I'm a good picker. And so, after I got 20 services, I encouraged them to get 20 services, and then I helped them teach their team, their 2 people that they picked to get 20 services. all the way down to level 7. So let's see what happens when you come into the business, you pick 2 team members, you teach them to get 20 services, and you teach them to do that all the way down to level 7. Let's see how we're rewarded. All right, next slide. Next slide. Next slide. So we're rewarded to the tune of $11,000 a month. Because you pick great players. That's all you have to do. And we know nothing in this world is perfect. We wish it was, but some of us will get 20 services, some of us will get none. If we get it 50% right, would you take home a check for $5,500 that just showed up in your mailbox month after month? That's pretty amazing, that residual income. And let's say you just can't get it right, your team just can't get it right. You get it 10% right, and you get a check every single month for $1,100. Spend that?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I think most of us will concur with J. Paul Getty, who says, is it better to get 100% of your own work efforts or 1% of 100 other people's work efforts? I think we'll concur, right, 1% of 100 people's work efforts. That's a unique opportunity that all of us have in this room. Next slide. So what happens, or how do you become an independent business owner and get your customized website? There's a price. There's a price. It's $499, but how does that compare to the $500,000 that Dr. Maxey needed to start his practice, or the $750,000 that I needed to start my practice? That, by the way, took me 7 years to pay back, and then I ran right into that recession. So I'm not dismissing that $500 is $500, but I think with this opportunity, most of us would agree when you look at our bonus plan, our Fast Start bonus, that you can make that $500 back in under 30 days. So that's a huge opportunity for you. Next slide. Next slide. So again, we're talking about residual income. Next slide. Now, there are numerous corporate, deserved, and earned positions, and you are in our guests amongst an amazing company here. The first thing that you do when you pay your $499, you become a team trainer, and you get 2 or 3 websites to start your business. And you rush to get qualified. Qualification is simply getting 3 services. Remember, I have 11 services. So you get your 3 services and you're a qualified team trainer. So I like to see all of the qualified team trainers. Are there any qualified team trainers? Can you stand? Congratulations to you. So when you're a qualified team trainer, what you do is you try to pick 2 great players on your team and you help them get qualified. And then you're an executive team trainer. Some of us have become executive team trainers in a week or less, some in 48 hours. May I see all of the executive team trainers in the room? Congratulations. Good job, good job. I see a beautiful lady over to the left that I know is a new executive team trainer. Her name is Miss Ernestine Cruz. Stand up. Cruz, can you give us just a quick testimony about your road to be an executive team trainer?
Okay. In this business, since I've been coming to train, it teaches you to know, ask yourself, why are you in this business? I got in this business because, number one, I was also impacted by the economic mortgage meltdown in 2008 and 9. And I have my own real estate company, a mortgage broker company, and also a real estate company as well. And when my income was impacted by the recession, I lost not only my income, I lost all of my investments as well. And it was very devastating to me. That was the second time I had gone through a recession. The first time it wasn't so bad because I wasn't hit so hard because I didn't have so much. The second time I had a lot, and I lost a lot. So not only did did I lose my investments, but I lost my income as well. And so I had to decide, what was I gonna do? Was I gonna stay in the business? Was I gonna find something else to do? Well, I know that I was not going to work for anybody. Not at all. I'm the type of person that I have to set my own income. I have to be able to work hard enough to be able to get the income that I want. I don't want anyone to tell me how much money I'm gonna make based on my skills. I know that I'm qualified and how much money that I can make. So anyway, after being introduced to this business by Dr. Marcella, I came in, I listened to what they had to say, and I was like, I don't know if I want to do that. So then I said, okay, I'm gonna go back and let me think about it. So she kept calling Dr. Marcia. Dr. Marcia is a great recruiter. She is really good. She follows up with emails, she constantly calls you with everything. I'm like, okay. So how she caught my attention the second time was, she said, I'm inviting you to a spa. Well, I like to look pretty. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go and check it out, okay? So I went over there and I saw Sandra, and Sandra talked to me, and then she kind of showed me exactly what the compensation plan looked like. And I was like, okay, I'm interested, I'm in now. And so I've been in and I've been working really hard in and trying to learn as much as I can learn, because any business you get into, you have to learn it.
That's true.
If you don't learn the business, you're not going to make any money. So I'm learning the business just like you guys are going to be doing when you get into the business. And I know, because I like money like you, okay, I'm motivated by money. I know that the money and the opportunity is there, and I'm going to go as high as I can with this company.
All right. As an ETT, in addition to the residual money that Ms. Cruz will get from her own personal customers and from her team's customers, she received a $40 bonus when she qualified, and then she also got bonuses as her team got qualified. Our next position is executive team leader, and that's just recreating the position that Ms. Cruz had 3 times. So all of the executive team leaders stand, please. And there's definitely great rewards as executive team leader. I'm going to ask a special mentor of mine, who's an executive team leader, Mr. Malin Frierson, to say a word.
Hi, welcome everyone. It's such a blessing to be working with so many people that's in your family. I'm telling you, everything up there is the truth. I was able to hit executive team trainer in 48 hours, executive team leader in 52 days. And the money's for real, and it happens, and it keeps coming. And your team keeps growing to the point where it grows without you. And when you have a family that grows without you, you can just step back and watch more people come into your life that you didn't expect, that you might have prayed for a long time ago. You realize how special life is, and working with Dr. Glenn, and oh my God, can we please give it back to Dr. Maxie? Dr. Maxie came into the business, and just to see him up there, I wanted to join again. Okay, but it's just been a blessing, and I'm grateful, and honestly, you cannot have a better people talking to right now.
So the next position is team coordinator. That's the one that Dr. Maxie just achieved. And what's so special about that position? He said, oh, I would like an additional $10,000 a month. And so what he would do to get that is support his team in bringing in 50 new business owners, just like that. Isn't that beautiful? So all of us want to be Dr. Maxie. So after all of the team coordinators, there are 3 of us in the room. So please stand. Next slide. Next position is regional director and then regional vice president. There is a very special regional vice president. I think he is, there he is back there, who has become such a special mentor to all of us, as Dr. Maxey alluded to. He comes from the entertainment and commercial making business. He is an exceptional son. He created a legacy for his family in building his business. He overrides other countries. So without further ado, we can please hear from the hexagonal, Mr. Steve Stratton.
Everybody, how are you?
Something?
Yeah.
Fantastic. So about 13 years ago, I had the opportunity of hearing the same information that you're hearing tonight, except we were marketing long distance and dial-up internet. Anybody excited about dial-up internet? I say it's the way of the future. Well, so it was not nearly as exciting, but the information made so much sense. And I knew that things were going to be changing. And they said in the future, electricity is going to be opening up. Imagine making money on people turning their lights on, not just here in the United States, but all around the world. And I said, that to me is sexy. And so the information made so much sense to me that I jumped on board. It's been an amazing journey. Now, question, so am I going to finish up? So the information just made sense. So I got on board. And within 14 months, I was able to replace my full-time income. My entire world changed because my world changed. You see, when you start thinking differently, you can generate different results. But if you keep thinking the same way, the results will be the exact same. That make sense? So I get the opportunity now to share with you how to be successful using the ACN system. The system. But before I do, I actually want to hand it back to the extraordinary leaders that got our evening started. Dr. Marcia Glenn, it's been an honor to watch her grow from being just this small of a family, and Dr. Randall Maxey, who collectively they are a powerful, really dynamic duo. I'm not sure if it's Batman and Robin or Catwoman and Batman, but there's definitely some truth in those. And Mr. Lisa Hall, who is literally an icon amongst our family. So I thank you all for doing an amazing job for us in setting the tone. So like Dr. Maxey and Dr. Glenn shared, my background is advertising. Now everybody's familiar with advertising, right? Yes. We were raised with it. And I was talking to somebody the other day. I remember as a kid, and this is the power of advertising. We were all affected by advertising in one way, shape, or form. I remember as a 6, 7, 8-year-old child with my father driving me to school in the morning. No seatbelts. Seatbelts weren't even important. Yeah. You know, the baby was just thrown in the back. Hey, hold on to your brother, right? And that's right. I remember an advertisement. I believe it was for Hilton Hotels, and it came on every morning because we were driving at the same time. My dad listened to KFWB in the morning, and it was 800-325-3535. I haven't dialed that number for years. I don't think I ever did, but I still remember it. And that's the power of advertising. Now, I grew up in a working class family. My father owned an auto parts store, and when it came time for me to choose my career, my dad wanted me to take over the family business. Anybody relate to that? That's called generational thinking. I do what my father did. He did what his father did. And so that's how most of us are raised. That's why most of us are broke or work. Now you see, my father, I said, Dad, I want to do something. I want to go into the entertainment business. He says, you can't do that. That's not what we do. Again, my father had his lid on it, you know. He was a smart guy, but he knew what he knew. He didn't know anything beyond that. So I said, yeah, and then I started off at the bottom, I climbed my way up top, eventually got to a place where I was producing Super Bowl commercials and winning awards and running big production companies. Sounds pretty glamorous from the outside, wouldn't you agree? Yeah. On the inside, I was overworked and I was overpaid. Anybody overworked? The new American standard. Anybody overpaid? See, again, when you're a doctor, you have potential to be overpaid, but then you weigh it out and you go, I don't know, it's kind of a lose-lose situation. They pay me so much money, I have to work, and when I'm working, I hate working. So you get into this weird place, would everybody agree? And so for me, 9/11 turned everything upside down. I don't know how you were affected by 9/11, but I guarantee you, even if you're very young, you were affected by 9/11. And so for me, I lost over $50,000 within 3 months, and I realized the world is changing. If I don't change, guess what happens if you don't change? You get left behind. Now, would everybody agree that the world is changing still? So here's an honest question. I need an honest answer. If you could go back in time and be at the beginning of Microsoft, who would have liked to have been there? Yahoo, Google, eBay, Facebook, you name the big company, the global powerhouse, and there isn't a person on the face of the planet that wouldn't have wanted to have been at the beginning of those companies. Now, do you know why you weren't there? Or your parents weren't there, or your grandparents weren't there? Nobody invited you. So tonight was an invitation. You were invited to participate in one of the fastest growing privately held companies in the entire world. And again, telecom's pretty darn exciting, even if you're talking about landlines, because it's still like a $35 billion industry, right? But now you factor in energy. What if you could take all of the telecom revenue and now multiply it with electricity and gas? Over $600 billion a year in North America alone that's now opening up your first time ever. Now we're already pre-positioned. We're the world's largest direct seller of essential services. We have the largest footprint of any alternative energy provider. We're already in Germany, the Netherlands, France, Norway, Denmark, throughout Canada, Australia, and the United States is in the process of opening up. And you know about it before anybody else. Who's excited about where you are? See, because in life and in business, positioning and timing are critical to all success. Would everybody agree? So if you're in the right place at the right time, is that a good thing? Yes. What if you're in the right place at the right time and you do nothing? Guess what happens?
Nothing.
Nothing. Lock the doors. We're about to do something, right? So again, how you are successful in the ACN opportunity is 4 simple steps. Can everybody count to 4?
Yes.
Good. You're capable of being successful. Number 1, you get to make a decision. And the question is, what do you want the rest of your life to look like? Do you want it to look like the way it's been, the same? Do you want it to be better? Or do you want it to be worse? So you now have a choice. You're already involved in what we're doing because we're all paying utility bills, right? Right. Phone, internet, television, gas, electricity. Everybody all around the world pays those bills every month, and we will pay them forever. So here's the decision. It's not too complicated. What sounds better? Accounts payable every month for the rest of your life, or accounts receivable every night for the rest of your life? Okay? So again, it's not a difficult decision. It says, I'm in. Okay? It doesn't mean you understand. I didn't understand it all in the beginning, but there are things that you do every day that you don't understand. You don't understand how your cell phone works, but you use it. You don't understand how the internet works, but you use it. You don't even know how your car works, but you use it. So you don't need to know how it works. All you need to know is it works. And you can win. Does that make sense? So the first step is just make a decision. And by the way, we don't care whether you join the team or not.
That's true.
We are not looking for your opinion. It was an invitation. I'm in or I'm out. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And if you're going to be out, just let's help you. We'll help you save money on your bills, right? We'll get you a free cell phone. Refer a few people. People love free stuff, don't we?
Absolutely.
So the decision is I'm in. The second step is we're going to get you your online storefront, your Expedia setup. Boom. Within 30 seconds of registering, joining the business, you now have your own online storefront, e-commerce ready in 24 different countries. Yeah. What would normally take you years to do, or at least months to do with a legal team, a huge, for $499, you are operational in 30 seconds. We're going to get you set up, teach you how to sign up your own services, so that way you're qualified right away, your business is operational, and is in a position to make money. That makes Make sense?
Yes.
Second step is just getting your online storefront up and running and qualifying. The third step, now this is where life gets complicated. No, it's actually really, really simple. How many of you, if you had a gold mine in your backyard, would dig for the gold? Okay? Literally, every one of us have a gold mine in our backyard. And we're going to teach you how to dig the gold. Now when you're digging for gold, it's a process. Would everybody agree? The gold just doesn't sit on the surface. Sometimes you have to go deep, 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 deep. And so this is where now we're going to teach you how to monetize your network. Your network is your most valuable asset. Your network is your most valuable asset, but the majority of people have no idea how to monetize it. What we're going to do is we're going to teach you how to monetize your network by making a list of 100 people. Okay, now we've never met before. I'm Steve. Your name is? Hello, Sean. Now, do you know 100 people? Now, out of 100 people, how many of them pay a phone bill, internet bill, television bill, gas, electricity? Every one of them. Same list. Out of 100 people, if they're honest with themselves, how many of them would use more money? Every one of them. So we're going to make a list of 100 people, and we're going to sort through them. We're going to identify the people that want to save money. We're going to help people make money, right? Now, we're not looking for everybody. We're looking for the right people. Because everybody wants to be wealthy, but how many people will become wealthy?
All right.
And we live in America. We live in a country called the land of opportunity, where people dream of coming to America. Why? I mean, in America, the majority of people are broke and they live in the land of opportunity. Why is that? That's a really, really important question. And the answer is because people don't know what opportunity looks like.
That's it.
Make sense?
That's it.
So again, and part of the reason why most people are broke is because they never focus on what they do have. They only focus on what they don't have. And when you focus on lack, guess what you get more of?
Lack.
When you focus on abundance, guess what you get more of? And we live in an abundant universe. God don't make no crap, right? And it is about time that we as a country, we as a race, we as a species, we as people, that we step into our greatness and realize there is nothing that we can't accomplish.
Right.
Turn off the TV, stop hanging around with all the haters, start hanging out with people that know that we are great, right? We speak truth, right? Again, we speak truth in this room. Okay? So again, we're going to make a decision. We're going to get your website set up. We're going to make a list of 100 people, and now we're going to sort through those people to identify the people that we want to become wealthy with. We're going to help some people save money, help other people make money. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And the fourth step is we're going to plug into the training system. If you bought a McDonald's, would you run it like a Home Depot?
No.
If you owned a Starbucks, would you run it like a Bank of America?
No.
Everything in life, every successful business is systemized now. ACN is a system. When you follow the system, you get the results. Does that make sense? Okay. My business is now in 16 different countries. When I got started with a business, it was just me. Right? And do you think I saw myself having a business in 16 different countries? Hell no! I went home and I was shaving the next day, going, what in the hell are you thinking? And it was my army of one. But now there's thousands and thousands of people. Why? Because there is no shortage of need in our world. There is no man on the face of the planet that doesn't want a better quality of life for his family. There isn't a woman who wants better care for her children. right? And so ACN is so simple. It begins by raising your hand. Can everybody raise your hand? Now, if you're already in ACN, then you lower your hand. Okay, now let's get a piece of paper in the hands of people whose hands are raised. Now, I'm gonna sign up again. And whoever signs up first right now, I'm gonna sign up underneath. Okay? Now, again, this is an invitation. This is an invitation. And this piece of paper, I want you to associate it with a historical document. And that document is called the Declaration of Independence, of which the land of opportunity would never exist. Is everybody aware what the Declaration of Independence really was? It was a death warrant. 72 bold, courageous, extraordinary men that were making history said, we will live free or we will die. And that is the stand that we're going to take. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So again, you can't go back in time and sign the Declaration of Independence, but you can sign your own Declaration of Independence, the same one that I signed, the same one that Dr. Maxey and Dr. Len and Regional Vice President Extraordinary, Mr. Byron Nelson signed, right? So again, we all get a chance to determine where we are going. So getting started is very simple. My recommendation is grab a pen. If you do not have a pen, ask the person next to you, may I borrow a pen? Do you have a pencil? Okay, you have. Does anybody need a pen? Okay. So at the top of the piece of paper, this is only if you want to change your life financially. If you're comfortable where you are and you like the fact that somebody else who signs your paycheck determines everything in your life, then this isn't the right opportunity for you. So again, last name first, then your first name, middle initial. If you don't have a middle initial, put a dollar symbol. Okay? Because I think you should change your name. Home phone, social security number. This is a legal document. It is, everything is done above board. Now, there are 4 reasons why one should own a business in America. Is that I have a tax business. Is everybody aware of the tax laws in America? We live in a country with the most lucrative tax laws in the entire world. Would you like those tax laws to work for you or against you? Great. If you only have W-2 income, they work against you. Everybody in America needs to have your own business for 4 reasons. Number 1, the tax benefits. Number 2, education. When you start thinking and owning a business, you think very differently. Number 3 is to make money. The main reason to own a business is not to make money. It's tax benefits, education, money. What do you think the 4th reason to own a business is? Freedom.
Yeah.
Freedom. But the majority of businesses will never give the owners freedom because, again, they don't teach leverage. They don't teach, Howard Schultz, the creator of Starbucks, he went from being an overworked cafe owner as a business owner to being a billionaire. What sounds better, being an overworked cafe owner or a billionaire? Billionaire. Got it. So we're going to teach you how to become a millionaire and possibly a billionaire. So again, you put your social security number up there because you're going to start now getting 1099 income. Okay? All the information, birthday, mailing address, that's where you want your checks mailed to. If you don't want your checks mailed to you, put my address. Okay? And then your email address. We are living in the electronic age and communication happens electronically. And lastly, you're going to put your sponsor information. That's the person who invited you. If the person is here in the room with you, fantastic. If the person who invited you is in France, their name goes on there. We work together as a global family with 100% integrity. How many of you like the idea of that? Down at the bottom, you're going to check Team Trainer. And again, I recommend that you use a credit card. Do you know why? When you buy a house, you don't use your own money, you use the bank's money, you use other people's money. Put your credit card down or put your debit card down, and our goal is to get your money back right away. How many of you want to make money now? How many of you want to make money sometime in the future? Now. When you live in the now, your life changes now. Okay? So again, it's $499. Put your credit card number down there, information, sign it, date it, hand this back to the person who you're working with, and let's get to work. How
Yeah.
many like that? Okay. Again, I joined the business 13 years ago. I have kicked myself year after year after year after year. You know why? Not because I was frustrated because I joined the business, but because ACN gets better and better and better every year. And I got the market long distance and diet better. I should have waited. No way. No way. But you could not be in a better place at a better time than where we are now. We've been waiting. I've been waiting for 13 years for this market that is opening right now. The electricity grids are opening up. That is a one-time in history moment, and you get to participate in it. ACN, we're launching within the next 60 to 90 days solar energy.
Yeah.
Now, for me, telecom was exciting 13 years ago, but that's nothing like getting paid on the sun. Right? So solar energy is opening up while we're waiting on the other energy markets. Because again, we're not gonna wait on Southern California Edison or California to be regulated. We're gonna start getting paid on electricity right now. And guess what the first solar state is? California.
Yeah.
Of course. And that is the opportunity that is on the table. Hopefully you are excited. Okay? But what I want you to know is that you are not here by accident. How many of you have been praying for an opportunity? How many of you have been just looking for something? And a lot of times, we don't even know what we're looking for, but we know that there's something isn't right. You can totally transform your family tree forever. And like Marcy was sharing, I changed my family tree forever. Because when I got started in the business, my dad had died 18 months before I got started with ACN. He owned his own auto parts store. He died at 68. Do you think my father was looking forward to dying at 68? Hell no, he worked himself to death. Because it was the only thing he knew. And so when I was getting started in the business, I bought a position for my mom. I bought a position for my mom, because as long as I was going to build an organization, I thought getting paid off it twice was much better than just once, right? So if you have a spouse or a partner, make sure you get two positions, husband, wife, mother, father, you know, that whole thing. Because what I know is 2 residual checks is way better than 1. Would you agree?
Absolutely.
And so I bought a position for my mom, and I built a massive organization, a huge European group, a huge group in Mexico underneath my mom, helped my mom become the team coordinator, and she never worked the business. I did it all for her. All right. How many of us would like to give back to our parents? Now, if your parents are still alive, you realize that you will be financially responsible for them. When do you think you should start planning that?
Right now.
Now. If you don't do it for you, do it. Parents, they have sacrificed tremendously for us. So again, I bought a position for my mom, and I built an organization, helped her become a team coordinator. My mom died last July. Okay? All right. We all get to that. It's okay. But the position that I built for my mom took care of her. Then, as soon as she passed away, it was automatically converted into an educational trust fund. And it now continues to generate money for all the little Strackens, all the nephews and nieces. Because I knew that in the future, education was going to be very expensive and essential. Does that make sense? So how would it be if you died and you left an entity that generated an extra $1 million a year for your estate? That's an extra. Again, these are the decisions that you can make now because you're in the right place at the right time, and you're willing to take action. Make sense?
Yes.
Got it. And so training is critically important. And this is the key. Executive team training. And again, do we have a training event tomorrow?
Yes.
Training event tomorrow night. So if you like the information that you heard tonight, how many of you would like to put $1,000 in your pocket within the next 30 days? What if it took you 60 days to make $1,000? Either way, that's what we're going to teach you tomorrow night. There's a bonus on the table. When you simply sign up with 3 services, the company's going to give you $40. You sign up 5 services, there's an additional $100. You sign up your 2 business partners, you get executive team trainer with 15 points, the company's gonna give you a $500 bonus. But if you get started in the month of March and you hit the position of executive team leader within 60 days, the company's now gonna give you an additional $500. That's $1,000 within 60 days, guaranteed, as long as you follow the system. Does that make sense? Cool. So here's what I know, is there anybody in the room who doesn't know me? Mohammed, have we met before? I'm Steve. Do you know where you live? Okay. Are you sure? Could you tell me how to get to your house? Could you give me directions? Yes. I'm really good with LA. I've lived here for a long time. Got it. So you can tell me how to get to your house. Yes. Got it. Could you tell Alvin how to get to your house? Yes. Got it. So this is like my home, ETT. Once you're in ETT, you can teach somebody how to get there, right? And that's the system and duplication. Does that make sense? Yeah. So our goal is to help you get your business up and running, beginning now, and so that way within the next 30, 60, 90 days, you can hit the position of team coordinator within 90 to 120 days. We've done it with a lot of people. All you need to do is just identify. Let us know that you are a player in the game. You're ready to transform your life and your family future forever, and let's get to work. On behalf of our leadership team, tomorrow night there is a training event. It's in Inglewood, just down the road. It's at 101 South, 101 South La Brea, which is right next to the police station right there in Inglewood. We have a nonprofit organization. We have lots of churches, lots of pastors on board with us. We are transforming our world, and it's happening through the Matrix Group. Tomorrow night, we invite you to the training event where we're going to walk you step by step to show you exactly how we're going to put your money back in your pocket, put $1,000 back in your pocket, and position you to transform your life forever. On behalf of our leadership team, we thank you all for your time. It is your most valuable asset within yourself. Time will never replace itself, and we look forward to working with you for many, many years to come. We'll see you tomorrow night. And please, if you're ready to get started, please come up and introduce yourself so I can be one of the first people to welcome you to the team. Oh my gosh, this is exciting. I didn't know this. So, Mr. Nelson, okay? Now, we're not talking about Mr. Wilson like in Dennis the Menace. Hey, Mr. Wilson! The most influential person in ACN, one of the most influential people in ACN worldwide. His organization represents approximately 50% of all of ACN worldwide. He is my mentor. Didn't know whether he was going to be able to make it, but he was racing through traffic in LA. He's going to be spending about 15 to 30 minutes with those individuals who are committed to being successful in ACN. So if you're taking a look for the first time, this is an opportunity. This would be the equivalent of sitting down with Bill Gates or Warren Buffett to determine how your future can be laid out exactly. And so we're going to take about a 10-minute break, and then Mr. Nelson will be here. For those of you who have never experienced, when I met Mr. Nelson, my world changed forever. My children think differently because of this man. He has been in our homes. He has transformed the lives and families of thousands upon thousands of people around the world, and he will be in this room here in the next 15 minutes. We're going to take a 10-minute break, and then everybody come on back to their seats so you can meet Senior Vice, or not Senior Vice President, soon to be Senior Vice President, Platinum Operational Vice President Extraordinaire, Mr. Byron Nelson will be here with us tonight. Okay, 10-minute break.
Maxie do tonight? Isn't Mr. Maxie the Mac for nothing? Y'all know where the Mac came from. Maxie. I'm excited about each one of you guys coming here for the first time. I don't want to take much time or go that much further. What I do want to do is tap into the reality of the opportunity. More so than that, understand the essence and the urgency of the opportunity. So just for those here for the first time, what's your dream? Your dream?
Oh man, just to be free and to be able to go ahead and help others.
To be free.
Yes.
First, to be free. You can't help nobody else unless you're free here. Got it. Okay.
Financial security, security for myself and my family.
Financial security for myself and my family.
And friends.
And friends. Beautiful. I like it. Gotta make it, guys.
Pretty much the same.
Okay. Beautiful. I'm coming to you. Freedom? Excellent. You go.
Own a string of restaurants.
Own a string of restaurants. Like that. What kind of food we gonna eat?
That's right.
Okay, excellent. You know me.
Fashion design.
To design.
Financial freedom for my 3 beautiful kids.
Beautiful. Financial freedom for my 3 beautiful kids.
Oh, absolute financial freedom.
Absolute. It's absolute, right?
I've got a wife that's a lot younger than I am, and she's not. She's
All right,
and I would like to put all this under her name, you know, and work towards that. So for financial freedom.
Beautiful.
I know. That's what I want her to
Make sure she's taking care of when you're gone.
do. Exactly.
Beautiful. How much money you got? How much money is it? I love it.
Financial freedom and security for my
Excellent.
family.
So, live life by dreams. I'd like to serve the world and play my guitar.
All right. Uplift humanity, as we know, for humanity, and open up your private side. Being a singer.
It's honestly be there for my parents, take care of my mom. Well, you know, my mom take care of herself. You know,
But do more.
you know,
You have to give back, pay back.
Take them around, you know, explore the world. That's basically my motivation.
Financial freedom.
Financial freedom, wealth.
And wealth. So the reason I ask that is because for most people, we're just trying to survive. It's amazing. I had this conversation earlier, and I really was been present in my space more than anything else. We always want to do something for our families. It almost becomes a cliche to the point that we really, when given the opportunity, will you actually execute it? Will you actually take advantage of it? And especially with people that are being born, people that are dying, people that are in our lives, we really don't pay attention until we're forced to pay attention to something. Does that make sense to everybody? And so in that, in paying attention, what I want to just share is just the paradigm of the organization and our family as a whole. It has a great urgency to helping you get what you want. So it's not getting you into our organization. It's not selling you to get in. Is everybody following me on that so far? It's really selling you on being an asset, to being able to contribute to something that's already moving at 120 miles per hour on a bad day. And in that, understanding that it's our job to take you to your destination, not to our destination, which is why I asked you, what is your dream? Because if I know, it's kind of like going shopping. If I take you shopping and you don't know what you want in the store, I can't help you buy anything. And if you go shopping and you don't have a grocery list, you'll walk out with a whole lot of things you don't need. Yep. So a lot of people fail within the opportunity because they are not definitive and distinct in exactly what they want when they come into the game. This is what I'd say a farm team of developing some of the most extraordinary, amazing leaders on the planet so you can actually rise up and do the things that we say.
The greatest challenge within the opportunity is reprogramming the thinking of a human being. Because if you listen to 80% of the conversations, it's just to be financially secure. But you're already financially secure. So it's a conversation I have with a young man today earlier, and he said, you know what, I want to get into the business, but before I do that, I want to be debt free. There's some things I have to take care of because my better half, my wife or my girlfriend, I don't know what she is to him, is all over me about getting a card to get into the business and get in when we have so much debt. But that programming only allows 20% to actually become financially free. 80% consistently stay in debt. And the reason for that is because you're constantly just driving to get to a status quo or to an even ground that really never happens for the majority. It's a way of thinking in which most people just want to have their bills paid as opposed to have my bills paid. How many people have heard, and you guys hear me saying it in a cliche fashion, that, some people are on a fixed income. We have to budget for things. It's an ongoing conversation. But the reality is, if you're on a fixed income, you need to fix it. But it's not fixing your income, it's fixing your thinking. Because see, whenever I have more bills and I have more obligations, I never go down and start figuring out what I have to get rid of or what I'm not going to pay or who's going to come up short or if I'm not going to eat today or if my child's not going to get this today or if I'm not going to be able to treat myself to a manicure or if I'm not going to be able to go and travel or do the things I need to do to be able to spend time with my mom. I'm not giving up the things that give me peace of mind. I'm going to figure out how to make more money and be more abundant. If I have more bills, I need more money.
Right.
There's an abundance of money out there. Just very few people who have the courage to go about getting it. So we have to find machineries or systems that will leverage that into us being able to access that plethora of money. There's 24 hours in a day, 1,440 minutes in a day, 86,400 seconds in a day. Yet there's one person who makes $50,000 a year and another person who makes $50,000 a day. My thinking is I need to figure out how to make $50,000 a day because somebody's already doing that. Does that not make sense? Is everybody following this? Because just to pay off my bills, that will be an ongoing process for the rest of your life. There's nothing sexy about gigawatts, fiber optics, and telecom. I never did network marketing in my life, and I'm not into lotion potions and water filters. I'm not going to get on auto shipping. I'm not trying to get stuff in my house to try and sell to her or anybody that I love. I didn't go to school 6-7 years to come out and try and be a salesperson. It doesn't have anything to do with how many people you know. Some of you may have the perception that, well, I have to be good at sales. I have to be good at speaking. No, I speak like this because I work at it, and it's one of my crafts and anointings. Actually, it hurts me because I'm such a great orator that other people think that they have to be able to speak like me in order to make money. Hence, I have people that can't even put two syllables together, and they have the English language behind their backing, and they still can't put two words together, but they make millions of dollars because it has nothing to do with how great a salesperson you are, how many people you know, how much money you have, how many degrees you have. It has to do with learning systems. You learn how to survive and pay your bills with no money. What would you do if you learned how to make a lot of money? What would happen to your life? Now, money's not everything. We can all agree with that, but can we also agree that it's out there with oxygen? You breathe a lot easier when you have it. So the goal here is not to get rich. The goal is to get money out of the way as an issue so you can pursue your dreams, so he can spend more time with his wife without having to chase the money on anything that he may do, whether he owns his own business or whether he works for somebody else. He wants to enjoy the time, especially since she's young. You want to enjoy all that time with her. Does that make sense? You want to bust your tail, make all the money to be able to leave to her, and you're dead. You didn't spend any time with her. That's not a good program. Does anybody understand this conversation? So I asked you to stick around so you understand the essence and the power of the organization that you're coming into. We're here to create something that has never been done before. I want to see more success for each one of you individually. And that has nothing to do with how great I am or how great you are, just how great of a student you are. I had a conversation in an interview last week and the guy said, what do you think makes a great teacher? I said, it's a great student that actually teaches another.
That's right.
Not a great student that just gets the money, gets the success and the prize, but a great teacher has arrived as a great teacher when the student has become a teacher and is teaching another how to have more than both of us combined. Does that make sense, everybody?
Yes.
So I take pride in that because it's one of the things in which I'm great at. And so tomorrow evening, I'm going to do a training. So you need to establish exactly how much money you need to make over the next 90 days and how much money you want to make over the next 6 months. And how much money you need in the next year in order for you to get at least financially secure, because you cannot live an amazing life being secure You're just one check away from being back into a volatile state of where you are. You want to be way on the other side of financial stability. Stability is just having your health just short of catching a germ to get a cold. Is anybody catching this? Is everybody understanding so far? So this is so that you understand perpetual residual income, leverage, compounding interest, so that you understand how to set up a corporation and a trust account for his wife and a trust account for her kids, so that you understand that they're taken care of. It says 3 generations of wealth when we talk from a spiritual concept. So if you really want to be able to leverage that, because it's about that money out of the way as an issue, and pursue a life, living full, dying empty, living on purpose, and making sure you have no regrets when you die. Being able to give 100% of your soul to everyone that you love, making an impact in everybody's life that you come across. How many people like the way that sounds? So we're about to do something that is going to crossbreed, pollinate, and we're going to help each other. I'll give you a prime example. How old is he? 19. So he's 19, and how old? I know you're supposed to have a woman. So 1935, what's her name? So we got 1935, 64. Just right there, in those 3 right there, we can hit another 100 years of generational wealth. It's just 3 people decided they never wanted to work again in life. He has family, I'm sure, that can be passed on and taught by her, who's going to be actually, who has a family and kids, who can be taught by him. How old are your sons? Your family and kids?
12, 5.
12, 5, and 4. How powerful it is that if a 19-year-old by 25 was on the other side of $100,000 a month, teaching in 5 years, her 12-year-old will be 17 years old. And he can relate to them because they're only a few years apart. And now he's teaching him what happened over the last 6 years of his life. That's what this is about. And while he's having kids, this one's growing up, and he's teaching his kids. That's what this is about. The system itself, the business itself, really doesn't have a whole lot of water to it, because there's a lot of businesses out there. Amway, Mary Kay, Prepaid Legal, Noni, Just Minded, Taking Water, World Financial Group. There's a lot of groups out there. Is everybody with me on that so far?
Yes.
What makes an opportunity or what makes a business phenomenal is not what it is, but it's who's in it. So it's really, who are we individually coming to the table, as we were just talking about, coming to the table as a contribution, as an asset to each other. Because you can take the whole stigma of network marketing off the picture. You can take the whole stigma of gigawatts, fiber optics, and telecom off of it. What we have here is a movement. And it's a tsunami. And what will happen over the next 60 to 90 days will make LA Times write about it. And what will happen over the next 12 months will make truly CNN talk about it. And what will happen literally over the next 3 years will have the BBC talking about it in London for what started here in Los Angeles. And all you have to do is stay around to see what's going to happen and be a part of it, because it will be written.
Yeah.
Does this make sense to everybody? Yeah. So the training starts tomorrow at 7 p.m. I wanted you guys to see me transparently. I didn't want to do a training. I didn't want to keep you long, but I know that you guys came out to see an opportunity. The opportunity lives in the baby of a bunch. I am the baby, but I am the alpha and omega of this organization. There's a reason why my business grows at an extra 10,000 people every 30 days, an extra literally 3,000 customers every 24 hours. Why it's generating over $40 million a month right now. There will be over 100 million in less than 3 years. And I take everything I have and put it back into the greatest investment on the planet, people. The trick is you have to find the right people. Just like in a relationship, you have to find the right person.
Yes, sir.
Did that make sense?
Yes.
So if you know that you're the right person, I don't care how skeptical or cynical or doubtful you are, what is in your head, here's what I will tell you. The devil's a liar when you walk out that door, somebody's going to attempt to steal your dream. Because there's somebody who knows that you're here right now, and they're waiting for you to call them as soon as you leave for them to give you their opinion. You just don't know that they're waiting to give you their opinion. They don't even know it till you start talking. You're going to talk in a limited capacity about something you know nothing about. They're going to come up with an absolute idea and opinion about what they think they know, which they know nothing because they're ignorant. And you're going to go from being excited to down here, second guessing your own desire to get your dream, which has nothing to do with the business. Don't ever let anybody steal your dream. Don't ever let somebody, my grandfather was one of the greatest teachers. He said, Byron, never, ever, ever, ever let someone talk you into something. He said, there's another side. Don't ever, 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 ever let somebody talk you out of something. Because they didn't see what you saw. They aren't hearing what you hear. They don't feel what you feel. There's no way you can duplicate this conversation and what you're receiving this message back to somebody else in a third-party conversation if you leave here. It's kind of like saying, well, how was Dubai? You just need to go.
That's right.
Did that make sense? Sir? My job is to retain your attention 24 hours. Right now, you're excited. My job is to turn excitement into a cash flow cow and give you the knowledge that once you know 2 + 2 is 4, nobody can tell you it's 5. So don't go talking about something to somebody who wants to have an idea or opinion about what you talked about. And when they do, because no matter how many times we say it, we say, don't talk about it when you leave, don't talk about it when you leave. As soon as somebody walks out the door, they pick up the phone and they say, okay, let me tell you what it was. So since you are gonna do that, some of you anyway, when you leave, just point at the person that has a lot of opinions and said, Mr. Nelson said someone was gonna show up, he just didn't know who it was gonna be. I see, it was you. Yeah, it's a good one. Oh, you were in it, didn't make any money? Yeah. I knew somebody was coming, I just didn't know it would be you. Oh, you saw something on Google? I saw you on Google. Oh, your friend got money, seems to making money? I know somebody goes to church and they're still eating it. Oh, you tried it and you didn't make any money either? I know somebody who truly actually goes, they go to a gym and they look the same 6 months later. I'm gonna have to talk to you after I see Mr. Nelson tomorrow. If you have any more questions or opinions, I prefer you have them with him. Don't talk to somebody who's making money. Don't talk to me, I haven't made any money yet. I wanted you to support me, not give me an opinion to deter me. Click.
Yeah.
Just because you decide to become a doctor doesn't mean everybody in your family is supposed to become a doctor. Just because you decide to become wealthy doesn't mean everybody in your life is supposed to be wealthy. You identified yourself. That's who identifies you. You're chosen. Who chooses you? You choose yourself. For everything in your life, you choose yourself because nobody else will pick you. You will pick only you, and only you will pick you until the rest of the world recognizes that you have been chosen by you. Did that make sense, everybody?
Yes.
We will start promptly at 7 p.m. tomorrow evening. Bring some guests. I'll do a presentation at 7:30. Confer with the person that invited you here. Let them help you invite properly. Don't try to invite on your own. There's a system in place. System you'll hear me talk about stands for save yourself time, energy, and money. Let them help you invite the people so that it's done with great value and they want to come and see it and not have an intelligent, stupid conversation with you. And if you do not have the app to be able to do that, then just come for yourself and get my training and make a solid decision after tomorrow. Is that a fair deal with them?
Yeah.
Outstanding. My name is Byron Nelson. God bless you guys. Have a good day.
This concludes our broadcast for tonight. We thank you for watching. Have a great evening.